Okay, welcome everyone to this edition of the Keptn community meeting. Happy Wednesday. Today we are meeting on a Wednesday because huge parts of the Keptn team are not available tomorrow. So for today, I just want to start with a short announcement. Later today, we have a Keptn webinar on the autonomous cloud journey of one of an early Keptn adopter. And they are also using GitLab and AKS. So we will have a Keptn webinar. You will find the link to the Keptn webinar in our Keptn community meeting notes. So in this document, you will find the link here. If you don't have access to this document, go to keptn.sh, go to the community, and you will find the link to this document on our community page, or just join us in the Keptn Slack channel, and you will also get all the latest information in the Keptn Slack, so you will stay up to date. So I think that was basically the first and only announcement. And with this, I'm already handing over to Florian to kick it off with some code of Keptn. So please, Florian, go ahead.
All right, thank you, Jürgen. Let me just share my screen. All right. Can you see my screen already?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Today I wanted to show you two PRs or issues. So let's just start with the first one. So the first was actually a bug that we noticed, which is related to the new Keptn expose bridge command. So basically what happened here, Johannes wrote a very good summary about the problem here. So basically what happened was when you use the Keptn configure bridge and to expose the bridge, make it available publicly. When you had the full installation of Keptn using the Istio virtual services installed, and in parallel had existing Nginx Ingress installed, which was in the namespace Ingress Nginx, then this command left you with invalid configuration because it wrongly assumed that Keptn also uses the Nginx Ingress to make the services available via the internet. So the fix was to check if the Ingress Nginx namespace exists, and additionally, if there actually is a Keptn Ingress within that namespace available, because that's the point when we can tell, okay, Keptn actually uses Nginx. So the code for this fix is in this pull request. And here you can see exactly what I've just described. So first, we're getting the Kubernetes library client using the Kubernetes Go SDK. Then we iterate over the namespaces within our cluster. And here, if we detect the Ingress Nginx namespace, we, in addition, now check if the ingress for the Keptn installation actually is available, and then we proceed with the exposal of the bridge. All right, any questions about that PR or issue?
I would like to add a discussion to this actually. The implementation is fine, so that's good, that works, I think. But going forward, we should probably not have we shouldn't have to separate how we expose Keptn's bridge and Keptn API, whether it's Istio or Nginx. So the nicest thing that we could have in the end would be to reuse Kubernetes Ingress at some point. So not to have this distinguishment between Istio or Nginx that we have right now. Maybe that is something we can have an issue for in the future.
Here I already did some research, and I used an Ingress object in combination with, so a Kubernetes Ingress object in combination with Istio, and I ran with our Istio version in strange issues. So here we definitely should make a new research issue when we have installed Istio 1.5 or something like this.
Absolutely, because I also know, I think Thomas can add some info into that, but Thomas has tried it out with traffic, I think. And the Ingress objects that we already have seems to work with traffic or traffic. I don't know how it's pronounced.
So
it works with traffic, yes.
The only difference is here always the metadata. And Thomas, can you please mute? Or don't mute?
Unmute, actually.
Unmute, okay.
Okay.
So this is true. This would be the best case to only have one Ingress, which can then be used with Nginx, Istio, Traffic, or any other provider.
Yeah, but as you said, we will have to do some research. So, okay, that was all. I just wanted to add this to the discussion now that we're in this big round of so many people here.
I have an additional note. Actually, it was Patrick who brought up this problem, who identified this problem, and he is also on the call. That's pretty cool. Florian, do we have an image, or it's merged, right?
It is merged into the master branch, yeah.
Okay. Well, then it's also possible that we can send Patrick an image so that he can try out this bug fix.
Yeah.
Cool. Then I will take care of, or is there breaking?
Was that fixed in the API or was it fixed in the CLI?
It was fixed in the API.
Then it's breaking, I think. I'm not sure if we can try.
That's true. I forgot about that. That it might break.
It might break. Helm version 3 and stuff.
Right, yeah.
I'm happy to try it out either way and see if it works.
Okay. All right, then Patrick, I will send you an image, and then it would be cool when you can try it out.
Sure.
Thanks.
All right, then let's just jump right into the second pull request I wanted to show you, which is again an upgrader, which will be used for upgrading Keptn 0.6.2 to 0.7.0. So because in the upcoming version, we're going to be changing a lot of things in terms of how we structure our data within the MongoDB. So basically what we do is, or what we're going to do in version 07, we're going to have a separate collection for each project, which will contain all the events for that particular project. And we're going to have this materialized view that is used by the configuration service and that we are already shown you in the last few community meetings. And that means that when upgrading to this new version of Keptn, we will have to do some database scheme migration. And that's actually what this upgrade job will do. And also it will do the migration to Helm version 3. So let's have a quick look at the code for that. Yeah, sorry. Here it is. So, again, the way it will be used will be the same as in the last few upgraders, which will be a Kubernetes job. And if I find the correct, yeah, so here it is. So first of all, it will of course apply all the relevant manifests and upgrade the images to the latest version. So that's not too exciting, but actually the magic that will happen in the upgrader is here in the first part. So it will basically collect all the pre-existing events of the MongoDB data store, extract them, and based on the project they're part of, it will insert those into the new dedicated collection for that project. And also it will go through all the events, and via event sourcing mechanism, it will construct the materialized view for that project and the services within that project. So there will be no manual migration of your pre-existing events necessary, and you will have the complete overview of your past Keptn workflows after you have upgraded to the newest version. All right, any questions about that?
Not about that, but you are also doing the Helm upgrade here. What's relevant for this step?
So I did this, and what we are doing here is we are upgrading the Helm 2 releases. So Helm works in releases into Helm 3 releases, and this is the magic which converts all the Helm releases which are managed by Keptn.
Okay, cool. And are there changes required in the Helm chart?
No.
Not. Okay, this means that we can actually leave the Helm chart like they are, but we provide this feature in the upgrader, and this will then we are Helm 3 compliant.
I mean, we can also update our examples, but we do not have a backward compatibility. So therefore, I would work with the examples which we currently have.
Okay.
Is there any change needed for the user of Helm? So the Helm CLI also has to be upgraded, or as long as the user does not touch Helm locally, it doesn't matter?
Right. So as long as the user does not touch Helm, he never needs Helm actually. And but if he would like to list all the releases, he then needs the Helm 3 CLI.
We should make sure in the release notes that there is a big bullet point that states, hey, we upgraded to Helm version 3. If you're using Helm version 2 or via the CLI or whatever, then you need to upgrade. But as far as I can see, I'm not sure, like, are you distinguishing here in the script between Helm version 2 and Helm version 3 via the name, or is that automatically because Helm version 3 has a different name for the command line tool?
Right, in the Docker image, I've installed Helm 2 and Helm 3. And yeah, for grabbing the releases, I'm still using the Helm 2 version. And then I can use Helm 3 in order to upgrade this, to convert this. But during talking this, I actually identified a potential bug, because here we are in line 9, we are grabbing old releases, and I'm not sure whether we should really convert the old releases. Actually, we should only convert those releases which are Keptn managed. Can you see?
Oh yeah. And I also see something in line number 7, the Helm init command. I know that this will fail if the cluster is air-gapped and does not have a working internet connection. In fact, I guess the upgrader will fail anyway, because we cannot install the newer version of Helm if we are air-gapped, can we?
No, we can't. So
yeah.
But line 9 should
that we
be,
need to document.
and line 9 should be corrected. How can we do this? So actually, we would need the name of the project and the shipyard, right?
Or is the name of the project sufficient?
Let's discuss this in an issue,
right.
And because we have to do some research here.
Can I ask another question related to the upgrader? Does it only work from Keptn 6.2 or also from Keptn 6.0 or 6.1?
This one works from 0.62 to 0.7. So in order to upgrade from 0.60 to 0.7, you would have to first apply the upgrader job for 0.61, then the upgrader job for 0.62, and then that one. So maybe we can also provide a combined Kubernetes job that basically chains those after each other.
I think it's fine if the user have to apply them manually, because there's so many things that can go wrong. It's better to apply them step by step.
Probably, yeah.
All right, let's move on, I guess.
Yes, so I'll hand over to Ermin.
Thank you very much, Florian. I plan to present only one issue today. It's filter events in list of root events in the bridge. So the issue or the feature request was to allow filtering of events by selecting certain event types as shown in this wireframe here. The idea is that you can filter by those event types so that you can easily, for example, detect or list only problem detected events if this list is getting longer. So I'm going to do a live presentation on my local machine, actually, since I had some issues with some NPM modules, which broke all my pull requests that are currently open. So when you click or when you expand the service, you get the full list of all events since currently. Oh, and I just realized that there might be a usability issue. Since all event types are pre-selected by default, but you can disable certain event types. This list will grow once you have more event types here in this list. On my local machine, I have just this configuration change and service create events at the moment.
I'd like to ask a question that I probably know the answer on. When new events come in while you have this open, does the list also update with the filters?
Yeah.
So if now, yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, since this stream is and how is it called? Is a subscribe. I'm subscribed to the API, and with the response every time, this list is populated, and this one is also updated on since I have always also to check. Actually, the filter is working client side. Yeah.
Right.
So
all right. Cool.
So, yeah. The only thing that is probably missing here and could be enhanced in the future is that this setting is not saved. So we don't have we don't store the checkbox state in the database, nor we do on the client side, since the option would be only to store it as a cookie or in the session storage. And for that, we would have to introduce a cookie policy, which was not at the moment planned. But in the future, we have another feature on the list, which will include a cookie policy, and there we could add
I think
that feature. Yeah.
I think it's okay. I know enterprise grade services that also don't store filter options because of reasons.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I mean, just
any further questions?
Yeah, just a minor. Can we remove the border around the
from the button?
From the button, yeah.
I will have to check that one, because this is button from the Barista components library. And yeah, I have to check if there is an option, because there is actually a configuration possible, and this is the light version. Otherwise, it would have the background in the color, and the icon would be white. But I have to check if if the border could be removed, or I can also override it via style.
Yeah, maybe it's also possible to not use a button, but just a hyperlink, an anchor tag, or whatever. I don't know what the Barista actually offers, so
I will check on that. Yeah.
Nice.
Good. Yeah, and yeah, all the other improvements in the bridge actually are just bug fixes, which I'm not going to show actually. So that's from my side. Handing over to
me,
Christian. Yeah.
Thanks. So I'm still actually working on issue 1777, basically making sure that Keptn works on various Kubernetes versions, and I'm implementing integration tests for it. And I always find some smaller issues to fix, and I'm presenting some of these. So the first one I want to present is one that's actually very interesting, I think, for the community. So while running the platform tests on Google Kubernetes Engine, I noticed that there is some orphaned resources left behind, like persistent volumes and load balancers, IP addresses, firewall rules, and stuff. And the reason for this is very simple. We just call gcloud cluster delete or gcloud cluster container delete. Don't know what the actual command is. And this does not delete persistent volumes and load balancers. But when we run Keptn install and when we onboard SockShop or the CATS microservice, we actually do create persistent volumes and load balancers. So very easy fix to remove some of these orphaned resources, or at least to remove them. To avoid having them created is to run Keptn uninstall when we do our integration tests. And two more fixes would be to remove all services of type load balancer. I did not do that for the reason that our integration tests also work with a pre-installed version of Istio, basically the version that Google is installing. So if I would remove the load balancer of the pre-installed version of Istio, Google would just reinstall it. And I'm not sure what kind of havoc this would be causing. So I did not do that. And also removing all persistent volumes. I also did not do that, but what I did, I will show you in a pull request. Basically, I have a test called, I added a test to our integration test. It's called test Keptn uninstall. That's basically also, yeah, an integration test for Keptn uninstall, where I verify that everything from the namespace Keptn is removed. If the namespace still exists, something obviously hasn't worked, and I'm exiting with 1, so the integration test will fail. And once this has been done, I'm also making sure that I'm deleting any namespaces that I've created during the previous steps in integration test. So basically, I always create a project with 3 stages: dev, staging, and production. Therefore, I'm making sure that these namespaces are always deleted. And in case these namespaces don't exist for whatever reason, I'll still want this command to succeed. So I added a pipe true behind that. And yeah, with that little script here, I'm 99% sure that we will not have orphaned resources, or at least we won't have many, but I have to monitor that, obviously. But yeah, lesson learned is for everyone that's using Keptn in an automated way to always clean up afterwards. And the second thing I've also added with this pull request, I reduced the disk size required when creating a cluster from 100 gigabyte to 25 gigabyte, because this is only the disk size of the boot disk of the Kubernetes cluster. It's not the disk size of the persistent volumes. So that should also like save some resources. And I'm trying to use preemptible nodes now, thanks to Thomas for this tip, by the way. So preemptible nodes cost like 25% of a normal node, and they can be canceled anytime by Google. So if Google says, hey, we don't have a node for you, we'll take the node away from you, that would be bad for us. But for an integration test, I think that's fine, because in the worst case, we will restart the integration test, and yeah, it just saves some resources, saves some money, and is probably also good to know for other people if you ever want to implement some automated tests with Keptn or G-Cloud. You can use that kind of setting. Right. Any question regarding this pull request?
Not regarding the pull request, but if I delete a cluster using the G-Cloud website, is then the load balancer deleted or not? And also the PVCs, of course.
So from the cleanup that I did in the last couple of days, as far as I can tell, no, because that uses the underlying API, which is the same that the G-Cloud CLI would use. So there's no difference as far as I can tell between the UI and the CLI.
Okay, good to know. Actually, this is exactly the same for AWS. If you create a cluster, an EKS cluster, using the EKS CTL and then manually add load balancers, they are not cleaned up by the underlying Terraform script and are dangling.
Yep. I'm pretty sure we can have a long talk about resources not being cleaned up. I already talked to like so many people that verified to me, oh yeah, that's a huge pain. So yeah. The second thing I noticed is that our integration test for quality gates were sometimes failing. I'll actually show the result of the test. Well, actually, I'll show the test itself. I have Travis open here. So one of the evaluation-done events that we verified in the integration test were returning violated true for response time P95. And the reason for this is we were checking that the target value of response time P95 hasn't changed by more than 10%. So it's a relative change. And the value was always quite low, around 30 milliseconds or 32 milliseconds. And obviously 10% of 32 milliseconds is only 3 milliseconds. And if this goes at 36 milliseconds, yeah, we violate it. And that just happens randomly. This could be a network hiccup. This could actually be on purpose. We don't know. An easy fix, although, was to increase the target value here to 20%. And I'm actually showing you the failed test here, which is marked as a red icon in Travis. And with the green icon here is a positive test. So here the criteria, I've increased it to 20% and it's no longer violated. With actually the same target or the same value or almost the same value that we measured in here with 36 milliseconds. We had 36.3 or something also in the other test. And the changes were also minimal. I only had to edit our test SLO files, and I've added the 20% criteria instead of the 10% criteria here. And what I also did in addition, I added a warning criteria. So like to make the test a little bit more realistic, we could say anything between 20% is fine. It's an automated pass, and 50% would still be okay, but we should receive a warning. And if the response time changes more than 50%, then this could be considered a bad user experience or whatever. So we want to be notified. So yeah, the idea is that you can reuse the SLO files that I have in my test assets folder here for obviously installing it on your own, or if you just want to, yeah, also play a scenario like this with your tests, you can also reuse these SLO files. And yeah. All right. Any questions regarding this pull request? Okay, nice. Yeah, then I'll hand over. Not sure is Christian Hoffmann here. Does he want to present something?
He's not on the call. No.
All right. Then I'll hand over to Thomas and Andreas.
Thank you. So Thomas and myself, we have worked on a research issue where we would like to run the Keptn execution plane on a different cluster compared to the other cluster running the Keptn Core. So technically, what we have done is we have put the Gmeter service in the new cluster and then wrote
a little bit bigger.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
technically, we have put the gmeter service as our research example in a different server, in a different cluster, and then we introduced a little sidecar which polls whether there is an open test which should be executed by the gmeter service. And this was the outcome of our research we did. So there is now a little prototype available which allows to run gmeter not inside the Keptn control plane, inside the Keptn core. That's from my side. And next is Johannes.
All right. Actually, I don't have any pull requests to talk about. I have more or less some work to distribute when it comes to pull requests, because can I ask someone of you to take a look on the open pull request for documentation? There are 4 PRs open and there is still approval missing. The first one is for the upgrader. Actually, that one, Florian showed us that one, where he explained how to upgrade from 0.6 to 0.7. Then here it's pull request from Christian about simplifying the use of Minikube. And then I added a list of Docker files that we actually install when we do the manual install, so that it's obvious which Docker images get applied. And last but not least, this is the Kubernetes support matrix that shows the support of Keptn, or the support of Kubernetes with Keptn 0.7. I'm pretty sure that we need to update this one as closer we get to the release date, but nevertheless, I want to show it on the develop folder so that folks out there can already take a look at the support metrics that it's going to be supported in the future.
I think that also goes to my ticket a little bit, so I'll notify you if there is any changes. But so far it's looking good for anything between 1.14 and 1.18, and I hope that we can release Keptn before Kubernetes 1.19 is out.
Okay, then we must go fast now. No, just kidding. Who can give me a review on those pull requests?
I can take a look at it tomorrow.
All right, thanks a lot. Cool. I mean,
well, except for the one that I opened, obviously.
Correct. Yeah.
I can take this.
Okay, thanks a lot. Then I will go on with the next point in the agenda. It's about what's the current focus of the development train, so to say, or what is the what we are currently focusing on. It's all about the spec change and the Keptn enhancement proposal for supporting custom remediation providers. Last time I showed you the Keptn enhancement proposal, and I've broken it down into a spec change, and now we have also broken down the issues. Here I have marked 4 of them as purple. To be C means to be created. I mean, we have already specified those, and we are ready to create the concrete GitHub issues. All right, this is the focus we are currently working on, and this brings me now directly to the working items for the last week. And let's switch over to the Kanban board. And like we did the last few community meetings, dev meetings, I would now go from the right side to the left, and everybody just says short sentence or short statement about the issue, and then we know the status of the issue, and we can move on to the first one. Florian, you showed us the bug fix today.
The two at the top are the ones I showed you earlier.
Right, cool. Then the upgrade mechanism we also discussed lengthily, and you showed us a live demo or the code. And then we have two pull requests or issues regarding the bridge. Ermin, what's the status?
Yeah, actually there are two more that are actually done, but I have a broken build there because of some npm issues. Actually, I have an issue there with the Babel transpiler for TypeScript. There is an issue, and I think I have to upgrade or update and the version there, and I haven't managed to finish that one yet. So actually all the pull requests have the same problem in the build when they are compiled with Angular with the minus production setting, so with the ahead of time compilation, which I haven't used locally during development, and that raised during the pull request.
Everyone that's implemented stuff with Angular and has used AOT can sing you probably a song about that, and has seen such a problem. It's we should get it fixed. Maybe we can make a separate pull request based on a master branch, and then we rebase the other pull requests or stuff like that, because I think we cannot go forward without that fix.
Yeah.
Can we put that on a very high priority? Because it would be really cool to get those two pull requests into master, so that we can also demo and show all your changes you did in the bridge.
Yeah, of course. I just realized today in the morning the issue with the pull requests, and it will be fixed during tomorrow.
Okay. Yep. Cool. Perfect. Yeah. To get those two pull requests into master.
Yep. I'll just create an issue and I'll add it actually into the backlog. And if it's fine with everyone, if you, I'll directly assign it to Ermin.
Cool. Thanks.
And I can help if you need some help. I've triaged such problems more than once. Let's say it like this.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Then let's jump over to the next column. It's an in progress column. Florian, what's the status of the unleash service?
Yeah, this is currently in progress. It's almost done. Not completely. I just need a little bit more time. But
okay.
There is nothing that's blocking me or anything like that.
Cool. Yeah. Then we skip this one. Christian is not here. Andreas and Christian, what's the status of this one? Removing the host header?
So I think I have an open pull request in Go utils. I'm not sure if I've marked it as ready for review yet, but as discussed last week, we will need that change. So I'll just give that pull request open for review, and then we can, finish this issue, I think. Thomas, I'm not sure, did you also have a modification of the CLI for the WebSocket communication? You're muted.
I think I only used your fix, so I did
okay,
nothing
then
more.
I'll just get that one merged, and then we can move that to ready for review, and should be done next week then.
I think there's also an issue in the installer. So in the Ingress object, we also have to fix it there.
Well, we don't have to, but we should too.
Yeah, we should.
It's if we want to stay backwards compatible, we should leave it in the manifest. But we can remove it from the manifest. I'll add that as a note in the issue.
All right. Then Christian, what's your status on the Kubernetes support?
So within Travis, I think I've done everything that I can do, and I still want to implement a Jenkins pipeline where I've requested some support internally that will help me to create the Jenkins pipeline. But I have tested it 2 weeks ago and it worked 2 weeks ago. So it really just depends if we can live with, we've tested it once, or if we want to have an automated test.
Okay.
That is for the full installation. The smaller installation with use case quality gates is tested automatically.
Automatically, yeah. All right, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4
more.
four issues regarding the bridge.
Same issue with those. I haven't opened the pull request yet because of the issue with the AOT build.
Okay.
So I'm going to fix that one first and rebase all those branches and then open the pull requests.
Okay, yeah, then the fix is on the highest priority now. But a short statement regarding the issues itself. Fix of
we have 2 bugs there. The SLIs should show success true false. Also for info SLIs, we had an issue there that if the SLI was configured just as an info and there was an error message, it was showing just the result with 0, and you had no clue that there was actually an error. And the next one was bridge shows wrong duration for remediation.done events. There was a problem with the calculation of the duration of the event itself. And actually it was just a wrong, creating a wrong time difference actually. I'm now using the moment JS library for calculating the difference between 2 dates correctly.
And you could solve the problem.
Yeah,
nice. Then
the next one was presented. Filter events and list of root events. And the last one, unit tests for bridge, is one that I still had not the time to look at since there are also some unit tests that I want to finish in the bridge.
Okay.
And then I will close that one as well.
All right, this brings us now to the issues that are signed and committed. Thomas, a short update on the first one.
Yes, I didn't work on this week, but I think I will deal with it next week.
Okay. And this one, can you unmute? Thanks.
Sorry.
And we already discussed that one. It's the AOT build problem that is currently the blocker for getting all the changes from the bridge into the master. Nice. Then we can go over to the backlog, and it's again a bridge topic on the top. It's about the out of sync labels in the environment screen. I think I explained it last time and showed it in the meeting. Is there some information needed?
I think that should be clear.
That should be clear.
And since we have the environment screen already implemented.
And the information will or is available in the payload or in the API?
In the API, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then it should be kind of straightforward. Ermin, are you going to take this one?
Yeah, I would take this one into for the next week.
Okay. Why is it not working? Not myself. Oh, come on.
Yeah, but feel free to join the front end.
Yeah, actually, I would love to touch some code.
Yeah, since you're doing really great mockups and design things.
I could also take responsibility for implementing those, right?
Yeah.
As long as you don't have to deal with AOT builds, trust me. So yeah, I think the next one I'll talk about it while Johannes assigns. I mean, I think that's still the issue about creating a contribution to Barista components for highlighting a column in the heat map. Do we still have a timeline on that, or do we actually want to remove it from the backlog? Because I think that's the third time now that we are discussing this issue and not doing it.
Yeah, probably we should, or we could remove it from the backlog since we have currently the focus on the manual approval cap, and we have
assistant delivery.
Oh yeah, assisted
delivery
sorry.
assistant.
Yeah. So yeah, since we have to focus on those issues.
Then we will still need it for 0.7, but let's put it down in the priority list. Okay, then let's move on to the next issue. It's about platform and integration tests for the delivery assistant use case. Well, yeah, I have written down a test scenario that shows actually the combinations that are supported with the test plan, actually with a shipyard file and containing those combinations of an approval strategy, and then the test scenario that shows all the events that should be fired to Keptn, and then the status should be checked.
Is the CLI already implemented for that? Because that one is the third item in the column, so I think that depends on the CLI.
That's true. No, it does not, because the functionality to implement the integration test is there. The third item is just an enhancement and a more convenient way to approve an open approval.
I see. In that case, I can do it, the integration test, because yeah.
All right.
I've written the last one for Quality Gate, so I'll have that one done as well. Okay, then I guess it's easier for me if I talk about the next issue. So this is a bug. Installing Keptn with gateway node port as an option works fine, but when we configure the main afterwards, we will break the configuration. I think if you can open the issue quickly, there is some details in it. I can actually request control, but yeah. There's some information in it. We've already discussed it a little bit internally, but essentially there is some ways to fix this, and most likely we'll have to fix it with the configure domain and within the config map. And yeah, it should just include the port in the config map, and configure domain should allow also configuring a port or automatically determine that the port is needed or something like this.
Right.
So who wants to do that?
I will do that one.
Thanks, Florian.
Make sure to try out Minikube and not Minishift. Maybe that will help that your MacBook doesn't explode or lift off, apparently.
Okay, then let's open this issue. It's a new one. We derived it from the last dev meeting because what I'm propose here is that we use the Keptn send event approval finished command for a specific project stage and service. And when the user does not provide the ID for the approval to confirm, then he gets the open approvals presented by the CLI, and finally, yeah, the user can select an option which approval he wanna confirm, and this then yeah, helps, or this then continues the delivery workflow. Everything clear so far for this issue?
Yes.
You did a strike through for the option B and C,
Yeah.
so that counts for the whole. Yeah, okay.
It's option A. I actually yeah, I made a poll where I asked the community which option we are going to implement, and yeah, it turned out that it's the best way to use the Keptn send event approval finished command, because this is the command that the user is going to use, or is yeah, makes most sense, and yeah, ignore all the things that are striked out. It's a CLI issue. I don't see a dependency to the core. Yeah, the information is there, the command is there. It's just a feature or an add-on to make it more convenient for a user to use this use case, or to run this use case.
I would like to do that one as well.
All right. Okay, then I will.
Sorry, Johannes, for interrupting here. Since we are having a community webinar right afterwards, and it turns out that I'm the host of both sessions, so we have to kind of cut this really at the top of the hour, probably like a couple of minutes early.
Okay.
Because otherwise we cannot start the community, the webinar that we have today.
Yeah.
Does it also?
Someone else host. Maybe I can try. Let me just try this.
As long as somebody else has the host, it should be fine.
Okay.
The question is if the recording keeps recording if you change the host, but
it does. It says it's still recording. It's without recording anyway. So yeah, please go on, and I will figure out if we can start the other meeting in the background.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, the next issue is about kind of prep work for the self-healing use case, where we need to refactor the remediation service. And in this particular issue, I want to extract the feature of posting a command to a Dynatrace problem into the Dynatrace service. Right now it's implemented in the remediation service, and this is the wrong place to live. And yeah, with this feature, we want to just extract this functionality into the Dynatrace service. Yeah, I've explained everything here, meaning which event the service should react on, what to do. And here is one point to consider. It's regarding the secrets that are used by the Dynatrace service. They can be also stage defined. But here is a link to the source code that might be an option for reusability. And yeah.
So essentially, don't just copy paste the code from remediation service over to the Dynatrace service, but reuse the function that's already implemented in the Dynatrace service. Then it should be fine.
All right. Who is up for this one?
If nobody else wants it, I will take it.
Cool. Then it's Florian again. Okay. And very similar to what we are doing here with the Dynatrace service, where we extract a feature from the remediation service into another one, is also the task for the next issue, because right now the remediation service also does the scaling action, scaling the replica set by 1, and this should be moved to the Helm service, because the Helm service is the guy who can take this action and can execute the action. This should be done by the Helm service.
I can take this.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, folks, I'm trying to leave this meeting. I hope it won't cut the recording or it won't shut down the meeting. If so, I'm very sorry. But yeah, Johannes, you are the host.
Okay.
Everything should be fine. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye. Okay, then we have 1, 2, 3, or actually just two issues left that are dev focused. It's refactoring the logging mechanism in the Keptn Core services. Has someone time to address this one?
So otherwise we can leave it in the background and
We can leave it,
unassigned.
Yeah. I want to get it implemented for 0.7 because this is a kind of refactoring task, and we want to address this issue, but we can leave it there. And I think the same goes with the next issue that is all about adding the problem URL to the payload of a problem. This one we already discussed, and down there I have a placeholder that reminds me to take a look into the repository of the Keptn documentation, and I pulled in 3 issues. The first one is, guys, we're actually missing information on the Keptn docs page about Istio. When someone want to figure out what we are doing with Istio, we can't provide information there. And I will add a section to the documentation to make it clear and to make it obvious why we are using Istio and which version we are using. And since we are planning to upgrade Istio, I also need a better understanding of this one. And this goes along with providing the documentation.
Yeah, we actually already have a page about Helm, and I think that
true.
works just fine if we just have a side-by-side with Istio.
This is the same way I propose to implement it or to write the documentation.
I'm sorry, but I'm back. We cannot start the webinar unless since this meeting is running. So
okay.
I'm very sorry, but we have to kind of cut this meeting 3 minutes early. I would hope maybe to sync on the GitHub issues so that everyone just takes a look and picks the issues and designs himself or herself. And yeah, thanks for this meeting today. I'm sorry that we have to cut it a little bit early. It's a good learning for the next meetings that we cannot schedule a webinar right afterwards. Otherwise, we cannot start on time.
No, I think we are fine. There are just 2 issues left. That's not a big deal.
All right.
Then, thanks a lot.
And just be aware, the next community meetings, we have a change of dates. Just check it out in the community calendar.
Perfect.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, bye.